What's up, YouTubers? So, I know it's been a while since I put out a video. Moved, kids starting school, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of that good stuff. And just haven't had time between, getting unpacked and getting settled in and all that. So, it's been a while. But anyways, this is something that I threw together. Yeah, I wanted to build something that I had all the pieces, it's obviously from various vehicles. My Frankenstein build, I didn't want to have to go to the store to buy any of this stuff. Like I said, I just wanted to be able to throw something together from the parts that I had. And this is what I came up with. We'll go with chassis, axles, and then electronics. I'll try to keep this short, but it'll probably end up being 12 to 15 minutes long. Hopefully you stay for the whole video. If not, I understand. It's a little long, like I said, but there's a lot to go over. So, to start off, let's start off with chassis. So this is from what most of you people may or may not know. This is a Wraith cage chassis. I started building, this was a Wraith spawn kit, and at the time I had like 4 other SCX10s that I had built, and I just didn't see a reason for having another crawler. So I made it kind of a rock bouncer and did a lot of hacking on it, and I just couldn't get it to look the way that I wanted to, so I kind of just let it sit for a while. And I ended up using the transmission and axles in another build, which is that over there, but I will show you that in another video. So, as I said, it's the Wraith chassis, and it's got the bottom plate from the Wraith. I'm using the Link mounts off the Wraith. The front linkage is off a Wraith. These links here are the hot racing. I had on this Wraith when it was still a Wraith. I bought the hot racing aluminum link set for this, and I ended up using the bent links off of that to clear the 550 motor that I'm running in front. In the back here, because I had cut it and then I had straight barred from here and here on the Wraith before I did this build. So I had a set of these, which are axial Yeti rear shock hoops, and I integrated those into the frame here. Many aluminum links in here just from different builds that I've had. I have a ton of different size colored links, and integrated into this as best I could. You'll see there's lots of supports, and that's just to keep it from flexing and to strengthen the whole back end here. Very durable, very tough. It turned out, I personally think it turned out great. I do wish I could do away with these pink ones. Like I said, I didn't want to go to the store, and these were the length that I needed, so I went with those for now. But there's that, and so the Tamiya clod-buster axles that I have, these links came on this. It was attached to an aluminum chassis that I have set aside. These are really long links. That person that owned it before had straight, had some aluminum rods and then actually threaded ends on them. So these are custom. They're quite long. If I had to take a guess, yeah, they're about 8 inches, 8 or 9 inches long, all of them. And I have the front set. I just couldn't run it with the body that I'm running on this. It would kick it out too far in the front. But I could get away with running them in the rear. 100mm shocks. These shocks were on that build that the clod-buster axles came on. Not necessarily the springs. The springs I just had laying around and you know, chose appropriate springs for the weight of this vehicle. It's not heavy at all, and it's kind of nice. The axles, MOA, Tamiya clod-buster, as I've said like 3 times. They're decent, they're beefy, they're big, but I'm not really going to do much rock crawling with this, so they'll be alright. And even with that, these big tires, these are like off of Savage or something, HPI Savage. They're big. They're like E-Revo size tires. I think they're, what is that, like 3.8 or 3.0 size rims. One of the two. Actually, I got a measuring tape right here. There. What kind of a measuring tape? Yeah, they're like 3.8 size rims. Front and rear. Like I said, this is Frankenstein, so it's got, you know, like this, for instance, this linkage for the steering, for the rear steer is an SCX10 I had the SCX10 kit, and I went with different links, and this is the link off of the SCX10 This is the one, one of the custom links that the guy made prior to me buying that chassis setup off of him. His own little, this is his doing, which works. He must have been a machinist or something, because there's a lot of machined custom parts that were made for this to fit, or he had them built. I don't know. In the front, to get max steering, I actually had the old plastic composite, I should call it, Wraith steering, which I ended up cutting down and drilling through because it was a little long for this span here, and used it here to clear the big center diff here for max, so I could get as much steering as possible out of the front, because these clod-buster axles don't have a lot of radius for turning. The battery mount is actually, so when I had this as a Wraith, I did the front battery conversion, cut out, you removed one bar here, and I don't remember if I had to cut something else out or not, but the battery tray just slides down in there, and that's where it's mounted, which is nice because for a little bit of forward weight. But 100 same shocks in the front. Yeah, so we'll go to electronics now. In the front, I'm running a Tactic TSX40, which I believe is like a 14 kilogram servo. Like I said, due to the fact that this rig is pretty light, I mean, I'd say it's 7 pounds, probably around there, 7, maybe 8. I don't think it's 8, but it could be. It's been working fine for me right now. I love Tactic servos. I've used them on a lot of vehicles. For the money, I really haven't been able to beat them, including their durability. I'm not saying that I haven't broken them, because I absolutely have, but versus like a Traxxas, what you get in like a Stampede or something like that, it's these are far better, in my opinion. Front motor is a Titan, the 550 14 volt motor out of the old X-Max. I actually have two of these. I wasn't able to find the other one, so the rear motor, which I'll get to in a second, isn't the same. But yeah, the pinion on front and rear is a 13-tooth 36 pitch. There's really no room for adjustment, so I don't believe I'll be able to get away with changing pinion size. I'm sure there's a way, but I would think that it would require some drilling and carving on the mount here for the motor, and I think that would really upset the strength of how that motor is mounted. So I'm just going to run the 13 tooth for now. In the rear, this servo was on here. It is a high-tech HS625MG, which I believe is around a 10 kilogram servo. Not as strong as the Tactic, but I'm running a FlySky remote, and it does have the third channel. It's a GT3B, but the third channel is not a 3 position, so I can use you know, I can kind of adjust it for left and right, but I have it hooked up and I don't really use it. I may end up just throwing a Tactic in here, which has that you can program that third channel for a 3 position. But for now, FlySky. So yeah, that's what I got. And sorry, for the rear motor, I'm running, hold on, I'm running a Tamiya sport tuned 540 motor. From the research I've done, they say that it is a 23 turn motor also. Now it's also running a 13 tooth pinion. I've suspended this in the air and spun both tires. If this is a 23 turn, it is a faster 23 turn. I really don't know what to say about that. From, like I said, from what I read, it's a 23 turn. So I went with tried to get the motors to match as best I could. It works fine. I don't take it on the road. It's purely for mud, so the additional wheel speed in the back, I guess, isn't such a bad thing. It's just kind of pushing the front motor, but it's a 550, so none of this heats up. It doesn't get hot. I'm only running 2S. So, and like I said, I do have another Titan. I need to find it. Like I said, I moved and I haven't unpacked everything. The ESC is an eBay $20 servo, or sorry, $20 ESC. It is that 320 amp 16 volt is what they claim. I don't know that I would put 4S on this. It works good on 2S. Why mess with a good thing? And like I said, this doesn't need to be a speed demon, so we'll see after I go through my first batches of mud. SCX10, or I'm sorry, this is actually out of the Wraith. This is the receiver cover or box. But yeah, that's what, and also this is a dual motor ESC, so it actually has 2 sets of wires for each motor, or you know, 1 set for each motor. But yeah, this is the build. I'm gonna pause this real quick and put the body on, and give me 1 second. And magic, body on it. So people are going to ask why pink body. Well, long story short, I built an SCX10 for my wife. She wanted a pink Chevy body, so this is what I gave her. She doesn't drive it, and so I used it for another thing, for another project. The way this mounts up, I had to cut the rear window out, and then I drilled 2 holes for these to the bars to come up and attach to the cab here. I don't need to have any other mount as far as the body goes. This holds it down really well, because it kind of has to slide in and down, and then this holds it on. I mean, it will come up a little bit, but not a lot. Not anything to where it would make any kind of difference. And to just last but not least, so I didn't build this to have a lot of articulation or anything. It just happens to be that because of how long the links are on it, it's just got a lot of flex, more than it needs actually, but it's cool. It works out. It means it can go over lots of different terrain. But just to show you here, on a regular size water bottle, it does that with no problem whatsoever. And the body clears, and that's what it got. So I hope you enjoyed this. This has been a really fun project. I wish it would have taken a little longer, but I was able to throw it together quite quickly. The wheelbase on it here, from center to center of the wheels, is 15 inches. So from axle nut to axle nut is 15. To the bottom of the body here is about 7 inches. The overall height is about 13. Actually it's about 12 and a half. 12 and a half. And 20 inches from end of wheel to end of wheel. Like I said, it's been a really fun build. It works really well. I'm going to take it out in the mud for the first time today. I just wanted to give you a video while it was clean, and I could set it down on the counter and show you guys here. But there she is. Comment, questions, always like to hear from you guys. So let me know. Sorry about the monotone voice. Still pretty early, waking up still working on that coffee. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think. RC Habit out.